I've been watching your channel now, Leonard, for about a year. You cover lots of stuff, from how-to videos. You raise questions like, are cyclists really road hogs? And, what to do during lockdown and how to go faster, stronger, pedal more efficiently. Can you just share a little bit of inspiration about your creative process and how you find the inspiration to keep on bringing out new videos and things like that?
Well, that's obviously a challenge. I think once you kind of do all the bike maintenance stuff, you've got to try and find something that you think is going to appeal to a wider audience. And I think YouTube being the way it is, it's always sort of looking for niches. So cycling is a very broad subject. So, I tend to go for the people that are a bit older, a bit heavier, and the sorts of people that perhaps think that cycling isn't really for them. And that's kind of my creative process. If I think it's going to be of benefit for them, or if they're going to like it, that would be a good subject for me to cover, I think.
So Leonard, how did you first get into cycling?
Well, I started cycling when I was a teenager. Basically, I lived quite away from where I went to school. I lived about 10 miles from my school. So it was my only way of getting to school and getting home again. And then obviously when I went over and visited my little chums at the time, it was my way of going over sort of weekends and school holidays and spending time with them.
Have you always cycled then, or did you have a break? Like many people, myself, I forgot cycling for many years and then came back to it later in life. Is that a similar sort of story?
No, I've always cycled.
Yeah.
Not necessarily kind of competitive. I mean, I did race for a bit, but I haven't done that for a while. But I've always cycled. Yeah.
Well, so what would you say is your favourite part about going out on your bike?
My favourite part, I think it's obviously just the feeling that it gives you, isn't it? It's obviously when you're cycling or doing any kind of exercise, your body produces all of those endorphins and the feel-good chemicals, and it just gives you a kind of a natural high. Plus, there's also that very good kind of sense of achievement when you've done a ride, or you've conquered a particular hill, or you've got a PR, or you've gone particularly fast or something. It's just the way it makes me feel, really. Sounds like the cycle of a song, doesn't it?
It does. And of course, for me, it's also about the route and the things you see along the way. And there's so many different things to it, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's also that kind of sense of freedom as well. I mean, I get a real buzz thinking, I've been, I've traveled, say, 70 kilometers today, and I've not paid for it. Okay, I've paid for the bike, but the actual journey hasn't cost me anything. I've gone all the way down there and all the way back again, and it's not cost me a brass razoo.
Unless you've got to a cycling cafe or a co-op or something.
Yeah, or a cafe. Yeah, you spent all your money on a bag of chips or something.
I've seen quite a few of your videos. You go down to the south coast, don't you? Quite often, and perhaps indulge chips. And
I live very close to the coast, so it's only literally down the road. So getting down there is very easy and very quick for me. And I think when I saw your vlog the other day, I think we must have missed each other by, I don't know, a couple of hours or something, because I rode from Bognor to Brighton, and I think you were going the other way, weren't you?
Yeah, I was running from east to west, and then up north through the country to a Southampton way. So we probably just missed each other by a couple of miles.
Each other on the road. That would have been very frustrating, wouldn't it?
I could have given a high five on the way past. Okay, so how am I going to phrase this? It's about, have you ever bonked? So,
no, there you go. Well, yeah, I have bonked. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a nice thing at all. Actually, I've done it quite a few times, and it's the worst feeling in the world. You can feel it coming on, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And all you can do is just hope that you're either fairly close to home and you can get yourself back okay, or you're going to be somewhere where somebody can come and rescue you, or you can jump on a train and go home.
That's it. I mean, it's how. Can you tell me about one particular instance of when you bonked? Then perhaps your first time Where was you? You know, did you
I
walk?
can't remember my first time. No, I can't remember. But I think the last time I bonked,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a bonk or dehydration, was actually in the summer. It was a very hot day.
Yes.
I cycled down to Bognor, which the return trip is 70 kilometres. And about 10 kilometres before I get home here, there's a little bit of a climb. It's not anything difficult. It's, you know, probably 2 kilometres at about 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
And I remember getting halfway up there and thinking, oh my God, I've just got to have a breather. So I stopped and had a breather. And then about 1 kilometre further on, there was a garage. Stopped there, instantly downed like a litre of water on one of these isotonic sports drinks, and carried on for the last 3 kilometres or so, and felt absolutely horrible. I was so glad to get home. Yeah.
You learn not to get to that point again, don't you? Well, at least
You
try.
do well. The amount of times I've done it, you'd think I'd learn, but no, I don't learn.
I'd like to know what you got you into or made you decide to start sharing your experiences on YouTube.
The thing that started me with the YouTube channel was a friend of mine called Tony. At the time, he was running a bike shop just down the road here, and it was 2006. So YouTube had only been started, I think it started in the November 2005, and we were launching the videos that Tony was suggesting November 2006, so only about a week afterwards, about a year afterwards. And they were initially kind of the maintenance ones to promote his shop.
Yes.
And then obviously with my background as a freelance cameraman, we were able to kind of put them together quite quickly. And I think at that time, it was probably one of the first, if not the first, kind of bike maintenance channels on YouTube. And they're still there now. They look absolutely awful because they're shot in standard def, you know, 420p or something, and they look awful. But you know, they've had just incredible amounts of views, like 1.5 million views on the How to Index Your Rear Derailleur one. And then I forgot about it.
Once the video's there, it's there forever until you perhaps delete it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or switch it off or something. But yeah, and like I said, I forgot about the channel until 2013. And I was talking to another cameraman friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, you know, you should give YouTube a go. It's good fun, and you know, for us, we've got all the kit, we've got all the kind of filmmaking background."
Yeah.
And yeah, it just seemed the logical thing to do to kind of carry on with what Tony had started with me. When I first started putting new films on the channel in 2013, 2014, my initial thought was to get somebody else to do it.
Yes.
Rather than me to do it. And if you have a look at the first films that I put up then, I think the first one was, there was one about how to check the battery on your Di2, and then I did another one about how to clean your chain properly. And I'm absolutely mortified when I watch those, because I feel it's so wooden and awful. Yeah, I can't watch them anymore.
Yeah, I know how I feel, because it's not difficult. It's not easy to do what you see other people doing in the videos. It doesn't come naturally, does it? You know. No. Sometimes you don't want to sound scripted. You want to sound like, you know, you're improvising a bit and you know, show that side here. But it takes a while, I think, to nurture that. I've only been going for perhaps about 2 years now, and even now I feel a little bit uncomfortable in the camera. I feel it takes time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody loses that. But I mean, like I said to you in the email, you know, one of the things that I like about your channel is that you do seem quite sort of cheerful, and you know, and sort of very engaging as well. So yeah, congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you very much, Leonard. I know when I watch myself, I think, what a grumpy little bee.
No,
sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit not bland, but like not enthusiastic enough on some occasions. At least that's how I feel on the inside sometimes. Perhaps it's because of the epic rides that I often take part in, you know.
But have you ever noticed when you've done a piece to camera on the bike, or at home, and as you're doing it, you think to yourself, oh, what a load of old rubbish.
Yeah.
And then when you watch it back, you think, oh, okay, it's not quite as bad as I thought it was.
That is very true. Yeah, absolutely. So another question, you kind of touched on it already about how long your channel's been going. So what kind of makes, what motivates you to keep bringing out new content then?
Well, I just like filming stuff, and I like editing stuff, and yeah, it's just the filmmaking side of it, and obviously I do enjoy the cycling, and it just seems very sort of natural to kind of put the two together, and I'm in a fortunate position where I do have people that like watching the content that I'm producing, and yeah, it just seems a sensible thing to do for me.
I'd like to get into how to videos a bit more, I think. But I often think to myself, there's already like 100 videos on how to, like you said earlier, clean your chain. But do we really need more? I often think that to myself, but I think that's the wrong way of looking at it, perhaps.
I don't know. No, you're right. There are, millions of kind of how-to maintenance videos on. Yeah, I mean, if you've got your own channel, yeah, why not do them? Because they are an important part of cycling. But I think for me personally, the kind of the beauty of YouTube is that you can speak to a very specific audience. And as I say, like for me, that's going to be the kind of the older, the heavier riders.
From watching your videos, I can see you put a lot of effort into producing each one, and I like the way you use subtle music in the background, and there's lots of camera shots going on in every one of your videos when you're out on your bike. How much time and effort do you put into putting a typical video together?
That depends very much on the film. I mean, for instance, like I've just edited the rides that I've done out in Italy, and they've literally taken me all day to do, because we were using quite a lot of cameras. I had a camera on the front of my bike. Tim had a camera on the back of his bike. He also had a camera that he was holding. I had a camera that I was holding to get kind of my pieces, where I was talking to the camera. And it took, quite a while even to just put all of that into order.
Yes, yeah.
And then, they literally took me, 10 hours to edit from beginning work to the finished file.
Yeah. Aside from your filming in Italy, close at home, you do lots of different shots on and off the bike. And I always marvel, how did you take that shot? For instance, you might be at a junction or something like that. And you're coming to the camera and you're going off left somewhere and the camera's left behind. For a while, I tried to work out how he was doing that. And I was like, he's going back and running after the camera again. That must take so much time to do.
I ride up to it, place the camera, ride back, ride past it, ride back, get the camera again.
Sometimes you have to do. Sorry, do you have to do? Sometimes you have to take it 2-3 times in case it's not quite right or something.
Well, I'll do 2 bites at it. I'll get the shot that I'm thinking of. So, for instance, if that's riding towards the camera and then going out of shot, and then I'll also use the return bit to get an alternative shot.
Yeah.
For those, I've been using my little Osmo Pocket camera, and I've got the Wi-Fi adapter for it, and the Karoo cycling computer that I've got, being Android based, I've downloaded the Mimo app that controls that camera.
Oh, right.
So I can control that camera, see what it's shooting, all from my cycling computer.
Oh, that's really
good. Within Wi-Fi range, I can sort of set it all up, frame it, and then do the shot, start it, stop it.
For me, I found because I do lots of long rides, I'd love to do all those angle shots and things like that, but like you just said then, it can take a lot of time to do, so I find myself not doing them. So I'm usually, it's on the shot, it's on the bike sort of shots and things like that.
Even when you're doing the on the bike stuff, because I'm kind of riding sometimes with my editor's head on, I'm always thinking, right, what was my last shot? How am I going to get out of that last shot? And sometimes when you're thinking about how you're filming something, it kind of takes the fun away from doing the ride.
Right, yeah. What you got planned next for your channel then? And you know, is there anything you'd still love to do that you haven't got on your bike and filmed yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I do like all of the travel stuff that I do, going off to these sort of places and doing rides in, you know, places like Croatia and Bosnia and Italy, Spain and all that. So I'd like to do a bit more of that. I'd like to do a bit more kind of training stuff. So I do have a couple of things planned coming up in the next couple of weeks that will help with that. So yeah, I think that's kind of the future of the channel at the moment.
So Leonard, you just got back from Italy in the last couple of weeks, visiting the Giro d'Italia. What was it all like? What can you tell me about your experience over there?
It was quite an experience. I mean, I've been to the Tour de France a few times and seen that, but I've never been to the Giro d'Italia. And it's very atmospheric. It's like, you know, you're watching it on TV, but in real life kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
It's very chaotic. You just wonder how everybody kind of manages to move stuff and get it all in the right place at the right time, and just how the riders manage to do those long stages day in after day, you know. But it was quite an experience, yeah.
I watched one of your latest videos, and you went to a climb. Was it the Giro E?
Yeah.
You raced off. You raced off to get there, and then you raced all the way to get back again as well. And I was thinking, cue the Benny Hill music. Will you get back in time to see it all?
Yeah.
So what was it like to ride on the tarmac that you know, cycling legends and veterans and the modern, you know, the familiar names in cycling have ridden on? What was that? What was the feeling like to?
Oh, it was amazing. As you can imagine, you know, you probably saw we were riding underneath all the, you know, 20-kilometer to go banners, and because the riders were only about an hour behind us, I would say quite a lot of the spectators were already there. The roads had been closed off pretty much, and we were hammering it through, and people were cheering us on. You know, it was just absolutely incredible. One of the most sort of memorable experiences of my life, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to go and do something like that. I've yet to cycle overseas. Scotland, Wales, yes, but sorry, Netherlands and Paris. But there's loads of hot countries I'd love to go and visit. Once things are normal, so yeah. You've been to Mallorca and everywhere, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I've been to Mallorca. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of like the capital of cycling almost. It's where every kind of amateur cyclist wants to go and conquer those iconic climbs there. I mean, you should give it a go. It's so easy.
I'd love to go to, like, is it Sacalabra?
Sacalabra, yeah. I've yet to do that, to be honest. I always get to the top, and it's one of those things where you look down over the edge and you can literally see it just sort of snaking away. I think Sacalabra means the snake in Spanish or something. And it just winds its way down this climb. It's 10 kilometers at I think about 9% average. And it's one of these roads where there's nowhere to go when you get to the bottom. So you have to ride down it, turn around on yourself and come back up. I've not been brave enough to go down there, and it just looks too hard for me. I should really do it one of these days. I'm
one of these cyclists who's it's taken me a while to get confident on the bends and things like that. So I think I would be quite on the brakes often, you know, because you look off, you can just in each bend you can just see the edge, can't you? Like, oh, you're gonna come off. I'd be quite nervous, I think, on the way down. Perhaps I get more confident, but
yeah, I'm quite a nervous descender as well.
Yeah.
I'm always the last person to get to the bottom when we're on long descents and things, because I'm just not confident taking the bends and stuff. Yeah.
And finally, a question I ask everyone is, how many bikes do you own?
Let me see. I've got my Trek. I've got my Cannondale. I've got my Isaac. I've got my Principia, which is just a frame at the moment. I've got a clunky old mountain bike, and I've got a titanium bike as well. So that's 6.
So what I'll do, I'll put you on a leaderboard, and as I interview other people, we can see if anybody's got more than that. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do a nice little, like a Top Gear leaderboard or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're at the top of the table for now, Leonard. And
oh right, yeah, I'm the only one though, I think. I just can't bring myself to throw anything away.
I know
the last thing I want to throw away is a bike, you know.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, I would have difficulty throwing a bike away.
How many bikes have you got?
Oh, I've got 3. I've got 4 to be honest. 4. The 4th one, I've got the Sonda Calibri, the TI I bought this year. I've got a road bike which is a Roo, so it's like a hybrid. I've got a Cube Agri Pro, which is another road bike, kind of my winter bike now. It's been relegated to the winter bike. And then over at my mum's and dad's house, which is like my second home sort of thing, I've got a Carrera Vanquish from Halfords, which was my first road bike, 2015 or something like that. So it's probably got a busted chain. I don't ride it very often now. Yeah, it's just kind of sat there sort of thing. But I don't want to throw it away.
No, absolutely. No.
It's got memories attached to it, you know? So.
Yeah. I could kick myself because my first ever road bike was a Raleigh Winner that my dad bought for me in 1982 from the local supermarket. And that was the bike that I rode to school on and rode home, and like I said. And for years, when I left home, it was in my shed. And then I moved house again, and I thought, I don't want that bike. I'll leave it in the shed, and I left it. And I could kick myself now that I didn't take it with me. Yeah. Obviously, you know, for the memories as well. You know, my dad bought it for me. He's no longer with us, and it's just, I just really, really regret leaving that bike in the shed.
Well, it's been fantastic talking to you, Leonard. It's great to see you into your channel, your cycling, and a bit of history about. You know, how you got into cycling. We now know how many bikes you own. So you're at the top of the leaderboard this week. So yeah, that's fantastic. It was great talking to you.
Thanks a lot, Richard. Thanks.